chapter 5 tells us the story about a young servant. She's a good servant. And it also tells us the story about a bad servant. This story teaches us how to be good servants, and it also teaches us how not to be a bad servant. Naaman had great expectations of what was going to happen. But what did he find? He found a servant with a message, very simple message. The servant had a message for Naaman. Go to the Jordan River, dip yourself 7 times in the Jordan River, and you will be healed. It was only Naaman's obedience that led to this tremendous miracle. But that's not the end of the story. Here is where we see the other side of Gehazi. Gehazi didn't like Naaman. He was a foreigner. And he desired what Naaman had, his riches and his power. Gehazi was willing to lie and deceive in order to get what Naaman had. So he cooked a lie. The prophets of God had come to my master, and would you send them a gift? And Naaman was a generous man. He did. But this deception and this lying was not hidden from the man of God, Elisha. And he asked, where did you go? And Gehazi was willing to lie. And he said, no, I didn't go anywhere. I was here. But Elisha said, my spirit, my heart was with you when you met with Naaman. And Elisha said, this is not the time to be serving your own selfish desires. This is not the time to be serving your own worldly ambitions. As Gehazi desired Naaman's possessions, he also got Naaman's leprosy. I have a question for you this morning. Which servant would you like to be? Whose example will you follow? This morning, Gehazi, he was a servant. He was serving a man of God. He had the word of God every day with him. And he was in his own country. And he was there voluntarily. Nobody forced him to be there. But ultimately, Gehazi demonstrated that he was no servant of God. He was no servant of Elisha. He only served himself, his own greed. He only served his own pride. And he despised other people. Gehazi was so selfish that he only wanted to serve his own interests and used other people, especially the ones that he despised. And he loved his position before God, and he loved his position with Elisha.